do it 3 times.
Hasina calling in from Newcastle, South Africa, and I'm just welcoming a pattern interrupt, which feels good. It's good to change things up every now and then.
Susanna from Switzerland here. It's good to see you all again. Bobby had a wonderful time checking in close to Zurich in a small village called Megenwil. 20 minutes with the car to Zurich, coming from the east. From the west, sorry. I was looking at the screen and yes. So nice to see you all.
Juliet calling in from Cork, Ireland, and with those 3 gongs, I thought the first one was focused on harmony and peace within. The second one, holding hands and looking in, being in touch and in contact and embracing and integrating with all of you as we come into harmony together. And then the third gong, I could see us all holding hands around planet Earth, just sending our love, harmony, and peace to the planet, and then bending right back so our hearts go out to the cosmos. It was so beautiful. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Wow.
Annelies, calling in from Vreeland. Brian. I feel so blessed because the energy of money revealed itself in a way it wanted to reveal itself from the new world. So suddenly it was seen, not only intended. Beautiful. Bringing it into the space here.
Sabine, hello everyone. I'm back in Cologne and I'm so thankful for an amazing week in France. It was a total beautiful trip and I'm sending this incredible power and joy we had there into the group.
I'm Lisa, calling in from Krakow, Poland. I felt also through the gong very connected with myself and then with the group. So I feel grateful to joining here today. Thank you.
Yes, also calling in from Vreeland. Happy to be at the waterside again, although I was at the watersides all the time. It was actually very beautiful feeling the connection of the waters as I was in Youth Island surrounded by sea, and then New York, really on Manhattan, walking along the shores, and then Whidbey Island, surrounded by sea, then in White Rock, again the sea. So yeah, water has connected me in a different way. So happy to be here again and lovely to see you all. Thank you.
I think you may be waiting for me. Brian in Krakow, and yes, I'm just happy to be here with the community of sisters. Yeah, we just had a reunion with a neighbor who lives in outside of Oslo, Norway, and she came with her daughter. It's all grown up now. She was just a little tiny one when we first met her. Anyway, so I'm still kind of feeling that connection of a artist sister that I met in 1993. So sweet. Okay. Happy to be here.
Kamala checking in from Kefalonia in Greece. I think this might be the first time that I've waited to be the last one to check in. I just wanted to absorb all of the wonderful insights that come from this group to shape what I think might be a rather long check-in today. It's been an incredible week and it's only Thursday. I felt all of the things that you were talking about, Juliet, in terms of the warmth of the community, the energy of this incredible universal love that we share, and all of that lives in my heart always. But when I heard the gongs, for some reason, I felt like I needed to center myself a little bit more in where I am right now, which is why I changed my background to a picture of the closest ocean to me, which goes back to what you were saying, Anne-Marie. And then Annalise, thank you for the reminder about money and what it means and how it works in the world. Hasina knows about the struggles I'm having with that at the moment. On Tuesday, I got a message from my biggest source of income in my paid work to say that she wasn't able to pay me for the next 2 weeks. And this came 2 days after the payment was due. And I had a little bit of a meltdown about that, because I'm sure you're all familiar with that feeling of, you know, I need to have a steady income, and then suddenly, you know, without warning, you get told that actually, no, the money that you were expecting 2 days ago is not going to arrive at all. And then I sent her a message saying that, you know, this is deeply disrespectful, and this is the impact that it has on my life when you unilaterally make this decision and only inform me of it after the fact, blah, 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 blah. And her response was, well, then you don't have to work in October because I can't afford to pay you. Which was a little bit unsettling, because I wasn't asking for time off, I was asking for the money that I was owed. And so that's come to a very abrupt end, because I refuse to be treated with that level of disrespect. So I've just been struggling with this concept of being rewarded for the energy that I put into things. And that was a little bit unsettling for me. But also in this week, and through that experience, I've also learned the kind of support that I have. You know, I had a yoga lesson with Hasina hours after I got that message, and she took the time to have a conversation with me about that before the yoga lesson. You know, it's this idea that we're not confined to the boundaries that we set about relationships. You know, it's not just, oh, we have a half an hour yoga lesson. And, you know, when I say, how are you? It's just an introduction to doing the lesson. It's like, when Hasina says, how are you? She actually listens to the answer and takes the time to have the conversation to help me deal with what is frustrating me in that moment. And that level of support and the lesson that came from that is far more valuable than the $1,500 that I'm not getting paid. You know, and then the next day, or I think it was yesterday, I got a message from Brian to say, I'm taking you up on your offer of support for writing work because I've got stories that I'd like to tell. You know, and it just this, and I have been since World Unity Week toying with this idea of how do I tell more meaningful stories than just the commercial shit that I've been paid to write up to now. You know, so, and then I also found a group called Conscious Kefalonia, where there's a guy who's starting an alternative healing center in Sami, which is incredibly unusual because the capital village is Arvestoli and everybody does everything interesting in Arvestoli. And here's this guy that's starting up a center in Sami, and he wants to build a community around it of like-minded people. So I've offered to gift him a gratitude tree for the center so that all of the people offering services as well as the clients of the center can just add a leaf and stick it on a wall to build that attitude into the center, so everybody feels like their energy is going into the space that we're all creating together. So I'm meeting with him on Saturday to talk about how we're going to put that together. So yeah, it's just been this time of, on the one hand, feeling unsupported because the finances are not falling into place, but on a deeper level, feeling completely supported in the needs that go beyond the physical. And now it's just a matter of trying to find that balance of attracting the meeting of the physical survival needs as well, because I've spent my whole life being focused in this space of reciprocating energy, and the material has just never featured. And it's just weird for me, on the cusp of turning 50, to suddenly realize that human beings actually do need to take care of physical needs on some level. And now I'm trying to figure out the balance of how that works. And I think all of the people in this space are exactly the tribe that needs to be here to share this journey with me. Okay, long, drawn out contribution. We'll pause for now.
Amelie, would you like to check in?
I'm Amélie. I'm in Zevenaar. I am checking in from a very, how can I say, sad place where I'm here in the middle of a sort of a roller coaster where a friend suddenly died, and the doctors cannot find any cause. And so we gathered with friends and did the wake, and I'm in charge of, at the middle of lawyers and solicitors and notaries and whatever, keeping my focus on this sadness, and also try to keep in contact with where he is now. And in the same day, I met probably my new man to be. And the day before, my great love, father of my children, got diagnosed Alzheimer. So I am very quiet in a way, and also busy can be during this meeting, but I really needed to be with you for a while. Where I feel I'm guided, and I check in all day long in just trust. Just trust. It's a real, you get sometimes in your life a, a, a challenge, why you say a test for who you are, and to stay with me here. And I can feel it now because of the pain in my belly. I supported other friends with husbands with Alzheimer. I was fine. Now it's my own love and father of my children. And I have really pain in my belly and crying, screaming. So it's much more my personal challenge here. And but also I feel so guided. Grandmothers are with me. I call them the whole day to be with me. Yes, and I even called all you around me yesterday. All my fellow spiritual humans. Amen.
Would you like us to do something now? would you like? And you're on mute, so do you want to take a moment of silence? Do you want me to ring the bell? Maybe somebody else feels like singing, or
Can we send her a hug? Do you like a hug and a song? Sending energy, or
I don't know. It's too many offers.
you
I
too?
think I feel your love. That is good for me.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Surround me with your whatever you feel.
Taia poi ke na kai te oisi, mahi doi oihi, ki sils, ki sai, ki sai.
The love surround you and everybody in your family who's lost, or the ones who passed. May they have a safe travel in the canoe to the other side. May you soothe with our love here. May you be supported and guided in every way forever.
oh ha. Okay. Are we complete with the check-in round?
We can continue.
If I may, I would like to share something I had in France, which was in the beginning when we went to the place where we're going to stay for 10 days. I went there with a beautiful friend, and we arrived, and in the next morning I decided, let's do a prayer. So I did a prayer, and I said to connect with my soul and everything. And then at one point I had the feeling I would like to thank my parents, because they were the ones who brought us in my early youth to this beautiful place in this area. So we sat there, and I thanked my parents, and I get goosebumps when I tell it. It was so beautiful. My friend who was there with me, she started to cry. And I looked at her, I said, why are you crying? And she said, I can see your parents, they're standing behind you. And I was feeling this warmth on my shoulders already. And I said, well, then my father is right and my mother is left, right? And she said, yes. And it was so beautiful. So maybe this is a beautiful message for you, Emily, as well. They were really there. They were supporting me, and it was so strong. And this week was so beautiful, and I had so much power, and I was so much like an eagle checking everything. And I'm really sure that they supported me. And we had it again when we came back to Germany. We sat together, and they were again there. So never underestimate the power of your parents and your loved ones who are gone, because for me it was really a gift to feel that, to be them being so close. And yes, thank you for listening.
So I'd like to share that I was reminded on a beautiful thing we all can do in daily life. And it was a presentation from a New Zealand woman about the wisdom of water. And Anna-Marie was sharing she was so much surrounded with water, back to water. So that inspired me to share it with you. And you all probably know the Japanese water researcher Masaru Emoto, far back when he did research with water. So this woman, by coincidence, she continuously works, and what she is proving and analyzed with scientific measurements. It's like, imagine a dog putting his tongue in and drinking water, and she takes a drop of that ball of water, freezes it, and then she has this photographic technique where it shows the spirit, and this photo from the frozen water shows a tongue of the dog. And then she did another experiment, put just a finger briefly in the water, and again froze the water, and it shows a finger. So we all know water is the carrier of information. And so what even many, many years ago, this was Masaru Emoto was saying, if you put on your glass of water, or just this intention, heartfelt intention of love, of healing, or you even write a piece of paper, she said 30 seconds is enough to program your water. If you, whatever you feel you want to give your body as an information, or she had photos even like the difference of water, of rainwater, spring water, or, you know, the tap water, the differences, and how can you bring back the vibrant energy into your tap water even. You know, water, you know, it's like our blood in our body, it's the blood of Mother Earth, and the power of it, the wisdom of water. So thank you for letting me share that.
Well, Lisa, it's so wonderful you bring this up. 25 years ago, I was doing experiment with Emoto.
Yeah.
I was there in Paris, we did with a group.
Yeah, I met him too in Berlin at that time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would like to share another, but it just pops up. We were in an incredible place. It was a waterfall, but the water was almost gone. So there was just this bottom. We were all sitting there. And at one point I went to the side. And first of all, one of the girls who was there, she took a flute, a real beautiful flute, and she was playing for the water. And then I went there as well, and I started to sing a little bit like I just did, the sound healing. And it was for the water. And then I opened my eyes, and there was almost no water, but the fishes, they were large like this. They all came up. I didn't even know they were in there. And they were all swimming towards us, giving the music and the sound healing. They all came in our direction. And this was really like, wow, we called the fishes. They really came up, and it was so beautiful. So, and then we sang my water mantra, water, we love you, all together there in this beautiful place. So yeah, we can do so much by intention with the water. Yeah. Wonderful.
Okay, I'll share my water story. This goes back to 1989, a global family delegation where I first met Dr. Nina Meyerhoff, as a matter of fact, but we met with another group called the Network of Light. And one of the members of the Network of Light was a man named Ed Winchester. And Ed Winchester was a pastor who led noontime peace meditations in the Pentagon. So you can just imagine that. He also led them in prisons, but he came and he said, I just want to do a little experiment. I brought these L rods, and he took out from his bag a couple L rods, and he poured a glass of water, and we were in a large room, and he asked somebody to walk to the back of the room and, holding the L rods together, begin to approach the water. And the person got within maybe a couple meters, and then the L rods parted. And then he said, okay, go back there again. And he asked somebody in the group to come over and put your hand over the water and send your love into the water. So the person did that. And then he asked this person who was at the back of the room with the L rods to step forward. And it was almost instant. They parted. And he says, this is the power of your love in water and all around you. And as we go in our delegation into Moscow, Leningrad at the time, and Kyiv, let's continue to shower everyone with our loving presence. That was the beginning of that delegation with water.
I have a little lovely thing to say. Since Lisa made these cookies on peace day, every time I eat a cookie, like I just did now, for me it's a peace cookie, and I have these moments of contributing to peace, eating my cookie. So thank you, Lisa.
I just wanted to run and show you the latest batch because these cookies have a heart on them. So
Yeah, I think you posted that photo.
okay. And I happen to be the cookie monster. And then she keeps baking them for her.
Apart from the water that was coming forth, it was also a lot about trees. The listening, there were not only, Danalia is, oh, okay, let's see. Better? No sound?
We can hear
Just
you.
louder.
That's fine.
Just a bit louder, please.
Okay, just a bit louder. Okay. So I was mentioning that apart from the water, there was also a lot of attention for trees. So I was just seeing your trees behind you, also Juliet. There was this beautiful trees around, or hardly any trees. Of course, on Manhattan, there are very, very few trees. But the ones that are there, they really stand there. Even though they're not perhaps all as healthy, but still, for me, they were very present. But also in other places. And so even the last day with Chief Phil Lane, we went to the sacred tree close by his house where he often goes and sits with an old tree. And we even climbed the tree. I don't know.
Mm.
So, yeah, I just wanted to also presence that as loving energy, connecting.
And after you left Brooklyn, Brooklyn was flooded. So much water in New York City, unbelievable.
Yeah, I've seen that. It was a historic rainfall. It was like it's on YouTube as well. I came across right on that day, just few hours when it happened. Was what? Wow.
I just want to say this is Grandmother Beach in my photo, and I come to her every day. She's just above. I don't know. You can maybe see that there's a stream underneath her, but just to bless and sing to her in the water. And I tried to actually just write this in my comments, but it's chat. It seems I have a virus or something. It's not allowing me to do anything like that. Maybe it's the vibrations of this very powerful group time together.
Juliet, what did you just say? Did you have a virus?
Sorry?
What did you just say? I heard you said that you have a virus.
I don't know if there's something on my computer. I tried to write and it just goes all over the place. I just wanted to write that in the chat, but so I don't know. It's freaking out. We'll see. Oh, sorry.
This is the place where I was singing with the fishes, if you can see it. I'll get out of the picture.
Oh. Actually, what I had wanted to write was to Amelia, just to say that from our waters, the blood, I think of each of us, are sending the waters in you, these vibrations of such love, holding you with in our precious hearts and blood, from our blood to your blood.
One of the people I visited on the West Coast was Doug.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Go on, Annemarie.
One of the people I met was and stayed a night with was Doug Tolchin, who is really focusing on how we can view the world we live in through the watersheds. So he's creating these beautiful maps that is showing the watersheds, especially around Canada and America, but anywhere. And actually, also the Kinship Ireland has asked him to also do a map of Ireland. And we were speaking about, would that be, Ireland without North Ireland or with or how? And I said, well, I think it's the whole island. So he's doing the whole island. And then showing how the watersheds are creating bioregions, and how if we're part of those bioregions, that's a different way of organizing ourselves and connecting to the water and to the animals that live in that bioregion. And it was, I think it's a very beautiful other form of looking at ourselves and how we live, and of course it's also part of the regenerative design movement. But yeah, it was very present as a way also to see how the First Nations different groups are also more connected to the watersheds. You can also look at through the ecological ways of organizing, but he felt, and I agreed, because of the power of the water, that doing that around watersheds could be even more heartwarming and powerful. And it made me wonder, I know in Europe the rivers, of course, have really formed Europe. The big rivers, other rivers, where most of the cities also were first developed around the waters. And I remember that when I was speaking about organizing the caravan of unity in Europe, I immediately saw rivers lighting up, the rivers lighting up, and sacred places, or any place where people wanted to organize something, that it would be first and most easy to bring unity if we did it in combination somehow with the rivers. But I am also curious how a map like that would look like. I'll put his name and website in there. And he's adding to that direct democracy, as he says, because he is seeing how people in a bioregion, if you then ask them about what they would like for the animals, for the water, etc., that would be much more easy to comply with, and that people really would, if they would be asked, they also have an idea about that. That would be another way of connecting community. It was, yeah, interesting way of looking at things.
That's so powerful, because when one actually looks at it like that, just from a human point of view, I mean, our cells are the majority of our bodies, water. And then you look at, we need those different bugs, and we don't just need to be in the same place, but we need to associate with the different bugs, different epigenetics in different regions, and it so flows in sync. And I've been feeling called lately to meridians, and you look at Mother Earth, the meridians there, but then you also look at how it's replicated in our bodies, and how can we see the patterns, and how can we be with that? I mean, they're so powerful, and there's not very much focus on it. So all of this somehow flows together for me.
The watersheds. Isn't this where Hillary also is working with? Had been working with?
Yes. And Joe Brewer, just when I left, he was landing in this area of the Salmon Nation, just along the west coast of the Americas and Canada, starting in Vancouver. Was also doing work there around the watersheds. Yes, there's a whole movement around, and like I said, in regenerative design, we also look at that. But it was interesting to see somebody really putting it into form, making beautiful maps in which people can align with, and then taking it further and further in how to contribute to the evolvement of this area. He lives in Bellingham. You see that about in the middle of the map. And this is below that Bellingham actually is at the border, is still in the USA, and you cross the border to Canada after that. You don't see that on this map because it's not about the nation states borders. It's really about the watershed. And then looking at, of course, also how the water comes back in the mountains and the other side, and yeah.
Yeah, it's really fascinating when you think also that the glaciers are melting. What effect does that have on all of our watersheds? I know that around Whistler, I have a son who lives in Whistler, just outside Vancouver, and they say that most of those glaciers are going to be gone in the next few years, and they've been what has been feeding the area with the water. And of course, Greenland has been so prevalent in our thoughts. I mean, it's going to reconfigure a lot of things.
Yeah. Beautiful, Sabine.
The power of water. This was completely closed by the rocks, and during a million years it created this amazing, I don't know how high it is, but it's also in the Ardèche, a very powerful place.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to share from France, Sabine?
Well, maybe I can share that we were 11 women that never met before. We were together for 7 days, and it was just peace. It was really powerful, really loving, and really open, and there was no strange. And if there was a little something, somebody would cut it off and say, okay, we don't put this into space. So it was very, yeah, I think very surprising that 11 people who don't know each other, that it gets so. And we did a lot of stuff together, singing for the water, praying, dancing, meditating, and having wonderful food, laughing a lot. And it's a very powerful place where we were. So already the place itself is very strong. And this area that you see here behind me, it's a very famous river. It's called the Ardèche. And I have a beautiful friend. She has a little shop. She's very into spiritual and bringing light and uplifting. And she brought me into something new. She said that there is like this dragon, part of the river and part of a town up where we were, and then down to Pont Saint-Esprit, which means bridge of saint spirit. And she said it's a dragon energy, and because of all kind of wars and the Qatar and whatever happened, the energies has been cut. And she asked us to pray for the dragon energy, that it re-energizes the river. I don't know if it resonates for you. For me, it's new, like thinking it is a dragon and it vibrates. But yeah, so I'm also with her trying to bring vibrations into the river again. And so it's a very special place and a very special time. Yeah.
Wow. I landed in Copenhagen. I was picked up by a gentleman who also is a light language speaker. And he brought me to his houseboat because we had to wait 2 hours for the next person to arrive that we would then take along with us. And he showed me some stones, and I chose one, and he said, yes, that's the dragon stone, and you're a real dragon lady. So we spoke a little bit about that. He shared a few things, but then, there were so many other things. But then when he was bringing me to the airport, he also shared a few things. And then I came on the plane to New York. Oh, look. Oh, beautiful. Is that a dragon stone for you? Or you could say more. Not yet. Okay, so I got on the plane, and all I they have all these movies, and I saw only the ones that came out to me were all about dragons. So I watched children's movies about taming dragons or whatever. And then I came to I love dragons. I do. I have also little things of dragons and so, but and I also know that Jude works with the dragon energy, but I haven't, really. It's always been very much playful, which I think is part of it, but I don't know exactly what it means. But now I then arrived at the West Coast, and there I was walking with somebody along the sea, and she was totally into dragons. So she just sent me, last night, she sent me a book about where she receives her information around the dragons. So you're also coming. So I'm clear. Okay, I will look into dragons in a different way.
So I might just say the dragon symbolizes power, change, spirituality, and is a symbol for good luck, fortune, and prosperity. Oh. And in some cultures, it's even a symbol for protection and royalty. And to add on top of it, and maybe I see Brian puts his hand up, Krakow is also a city of the dragon. They have a cave where the dragon lives.
Oh,
And an
wow.
artist created a sculpture, metal sculpture in front of the castle that spies out hourly fire. So it's an attraction here for tourists to come there making photos when the dragon is spitting out his fire. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very powerful animal. It's really empowerment and self-love and power of change. So
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. This is
Yeah, lining up.
lining up some things.
Yeah, interesting theme. But before I talk about my dragon experience, I put in the chat a mural that was painted in Ojai that shows the watershed uh, uh, um, from the mountains and down in, and the theme was bring back the beaver,
Oh, wow.
because the beavers have been eliminated, and they're so helpful in slowing down the water and doing the work that they do. So anyway, this is a beautiful mural that a friend of mine orchestrated and had painted, and all of the animals have little QR codes that people can go up and get connection to information about. So I put that in the chat.
Thank you.
But the dragon, I just wanted to share that in my world as a sculptor, very early in my life, I was what I would say really deeply involved with the hero's journey, just really overcoming a lot of deep emotional baggage and history. And at one point, I dug up some stone in Washington State, and I just saw that it looked like the head of a dragon. And so I sculpted so and it was a red stone. So it just was in itself, it was fire. And I carved the dragon's head and I mounted it and I put it on the mantle. And at one point I looked at it and I said, if I slayed the dragon, then I'm making progress in my hero's journey. Because in my case, the dragon was really representing all the, there was a lot of protection around the wounding that I had to let go of so that I could heal. And so by saying that I've slayed the dragon, I had the dragon's head, I slayed it. So it was a positive experience. Another way to look at dragons. Lower my hand now.
You're on mute, Suzanne.
I love dragons too. We have also a legend here in Switzerland. Actually, we have a mountain from our culture, our tradition. It's a dragon mountain, Pilatus it's called. Even orchestra made music around the mountain. It's the Mountain of Dragons, Pilatus, close to Lucerne. And there is even a cave, which they say as a legend, the dragon nest was. Just want to share it because we talk about dragons. And I had this call also, I don't know for how long, or some time ago, about dragons. And I've been also listening to somebody who works with dragons in Asia. I think I have her email. Probably we can, if you're interested in, I can ask her to share something about her work.
Yeah.
That would be of interest for you.
Yeah. Nice.
She's one of the shamans there,
Yeah.
on her family tradition. And I know some elders came to this mountain in Switzerland to pray on that water and mountain. I don't know how they do it or why they do it, but just thought I mention it. And there is, I also found a pyramid in Switzerland recently, which astounded me. What, a pyramid in Switzerland? How does it fit in? And then I will research on that as well. And there are some ideas around that to invite people as well on the tour, leaving a tour. Maybe you saw the things I put in the chat. Just want to connect the dots a little bit more and invite people to come in with their sharings and with their energy, because the more we are, the more energy we can put in those ceremonies wherever we go. If you like, you can reread it. It's in the chat, in both chats, World Unity Week from Ben and the Bridging Continents here. Yeah, there's definitely, and in Germany there's a garden for dragons. It's definitely something to check, to dive deeper into it, because it's not a coincidence. It has to be something onto it about these dragons here in Europe. That's what I feel. That's for really sure. I don't know about other continents, but I just could observe here in Europe that there are places with dragon energy, and I was wondering, how about those legends about dragons? The legends are legends, and we don't have anything written, or the gone people usually they don't talk about or they can't talk about their experience, their life, because they're gone, or we cannot tap into them, into their spirit, or connect usually. I just want to encourage you to research more on that, and
I will.
let's see how this is really something on it. It's really something on it. And if I may, I can also share. I shared an art chain. The start will be on the 28th, but I will put it in the chat. We're starting on the 28th October with somebody. Her name is Meenakshi. I put it in the chat, and she answered, and she's all about connecting with Mother Earth and healing Mother Earth and all her meridians or the lines, and since more than 12 years, I think. She has beautiful work, beautiful workshops, beautiful webinars, and she was recommended by a shaman in the Himalaya to create something on it for Mother Earth. And she did that for a long time, and somehow she answered my call to do something for Mother Earth and for peace, and we started to co-create, and it will be on the 28th start with her, including her work and somebody from the Zumba. She's doing Zumba internationally, creating, including Reiki. Oh. So you have a movement and Reiki in one place, and I never seen that before. I don't know about you. I had a talk with her yesterday, and I also put her right away in that chain because it's beautiful, so we can share also her work. And I put something more in the chat. Please, if you have some more ideas and you like to join, please, you are welcome, or we can talk on Zoom more to explore it. So that's, I hope I didn't.
No, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you.
Okay.
Very lovely, very lovely, very lovely.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Yes. I'm aware of the time.
Oh,
But I would also just, Sabine, you would like to share something?
And to make it very short, we did a meditation yesterday and we asked if we have a dragon, each of us, and 3 came. There was a yellow one, a black one, and a red one. And we found out in the internet that there is the water dragon, there's the air dragon, and the fire dragon. So maybe you want to check that out. And I invite you to just sit down and call your dragon if there's anyone who supports you. We maybe don't need support from anybody else. We can do it ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
we do that now.
Yes, we can do that now. Let's do it. I did that for myself. I love doing things like this, but with the dragon, I just 2 years ago, I followed instruction by somebody online how to connect with things.
If it fits in the time.
If it fits in the time, or we can do it another time. It doesn't. No hurry. We have an endless life here. So
Well, just a short sharing. Yes, I think I posted. I did this ritual in the south of Holland, doing a marriage of 2 lovers, and there was dragon energy, and then there came a woman who gave me this book. So telling about, it's a very old story in Limburg, a very old story where it's told there was a dragon.
in which
So
country?
From a long time ago. This book was written in 1800s and so forth. So it's old. It's not. I first thought, oh, all these dragons, New Age things. No, it's old.
Mm-hmm.
There are many old stories to share.
Mm-hmm. If I might, that's lovely. It's from which country was that? He was, or the author was creating the story, so we can have a little witness on that.
It is in the south of Holland, Netherlands, and it is told by a woman, and her grandson wrote it down.
I was in a seminar yesterday with a Netherlands wizard, an earth wizard, a man and a woman, sharing about his relationship with dwarfs in Netherlands, with dwarfs, elves, water elements, spirits, and much more. It was very interesting. That I heard that about Ireland, this fantasy. I never heard it from Netherlands. I was like, what? Wow, that's nice to hear, because that's exactly one of my topics I really love to tap into. And I've been also to Danelia's I guess 2, since she started to share as much as I could. I was with her on her seminars. She's very good on tapping in the lost knowledge, the lost energies. How should I say that? We could have relationship. We have this ability. That's a natural ability from all of us. I just want to share that.
Annelies.
Yes, just very shortly. I learned through Peter Mary that almost every water has a dragon which holds the space for the water. So if you want to come in, you first greet the dragon, because it can be really nasty on you. Well, just sharing this wisdom of it will come to us when it's about to come, probably.
Peter and I will look up the link. Peter and I did a 4-day geomancy course in I think it was 2000, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something, where we also with Richard Levington, an expert on geomancy, we went to look for the dragon of the Netherlands, and we found it in the Bleekermeer in Uddel, which is owned by the royal family, of
Oh,
course.
really? We went there. We went there with.
Oh yes, we went. Yes, but he's written. He describes that journey, how we did that, and what we came up with. So I can look that up and put it in our WhatsApp. Okay, maybe we can do a checkout so that we can, if that's okay for everybody, that we do that till 11:45. That we just take 5 minutes to do a little round. Is that okay? Let's just take a moment of what have we become aware of.
I like to check out Annelies from Vrijland with the sense of being one, that we're so much thinking the same when we're together, and that's popping up, and how much synchronicity and fluidity is in that. Thank you for being with that and reminding me of that. And, well, probably developing in that.
My last words, my feeling I got is just go flow with the water of the spiritual wave we are all in, and let's connect. Let's see let's see and feel, and continue what we are doing.
Three words that this leaves me with are water, dragon, and love.
I heard the words dragons are life or alive and community. And I thank you for a beautiful morning.
I clearly, sorry, go ahead.
I take the water and the dragon energy with the transformation energy.
It's Amelie I check out with learning and receiving support, and dare to ask and to receive it, as being very familiar to give it always to others. And I really thank you for this and for my own ability to receive. Keep that with me in this time. Checking out. Amen. With love.
Connecting with dragons. Maybe that's what's got to be done today.
Pamela checking out from Kepalonia, Greece, with a feeling of deep inspiration to explore this idea of water and dragon energy further and just see where it leads, and hopefully share that process of calling our dragons together at some point.
It's the magic hour to sign off, and so I'll just wish you all a blessed week until the next time, and thank you for your love and unity. Oh.
Yeah, gratitude, joyful, so much more to share, and that will come the next time. All good. Really lovely.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, love.